Today we are doing something that's one of the things on my list that I've got going. This list is crazy, but we're gonna do it together. Changing the front shocks on the XJ. Passenger side, not gonna be that big of a deal. Driver's side, it's not a big deal. It's just more of a hassle because of where the bolt is on the top. But I want to caution you to do something that I should have done. I don't know that I've made the mistake yet, but I'm about to check to make sure that the shocks that I got are actually the right ones. So I'm going with these Rancho shocks I got off of Rock Auto. I like them. I ran these in Guatemala. They're made in the USA, which is cool. Another thing I like, they come with this nifty band that holds the shock together before you install it. I kind of like this red boot. I think that's kind of cool. It's just a little flare, you know, not that you necessarily need it, but it's just kind of cool, I think. And the other thing I like, one, I can tell this is the same as what's going on in there in the Jeep. And the thing that I think is really awesome is that it came with the hardware for the bottom. Not all of these come with the hardware, but this did, and that's really cool. Of course, came with new stuff for the top of the shock also, but that is a great feature because probably going to strip the ones I'm taking off. So the first thing you want to do once you've got it jacked up, I'm not going to give you jacking instructions. I don't want you to drop your car on you or something. So the first thing you got to do, get it jacked up. Once you got it jacked up, it's a good idea to have it jacked up to where your axle is just hanging. Okay, so right now the only thing holding the axle in is everything holding the axle to the Jeep, but I'm not touching the ground anywhere here. So first thing I'm going to do right off the bat is take off these two 13mm head bolts. They have nuts on the bottom, so I'm going to put the wrench on top and my impact gun on the bottom to try to get these out of there. Still on there. Got it. That wasn't bad. Hey, and that's coming right out. That actually doesn't look too bad. I could have reused that. Let's see if I can make this work. That honestly didn't work out terrible either. And the bolt came out. Some of this stuff, I tell you, sometimes I'm like, I am one bad move from stripping the whole thing. So up top, it steps up to a 15mm, and we're on the passenger side. This bolt is awesome. Well, the nut really is accessible here without using any other kind of tool. I can use my impact wrench. I gotta be honest, I don't know if this will come out without somebody on the bottom holding it. Hey, actually worked. Just gotta get that nut off of there. Put that down with everyone else. Now up top here, there's a little rubber thing, which, well, first you got metal, then you got some rubber, or what used to be rubber before it cracked. And then that should just come straight out. May have to pull down on this just a little bit. There it is. And we have the first shock out. I'm excited about that. I don't like this plastic sleeve. That seems very cheap to me, which, I mean, who knows? I don't know that this is any better, but I feel better about this. Plus this looks cool. Like, you know, you see big time off-roaders with little sleeves on their shocks, or like my dirt bikes. have sleeves like that, so I feel better about that. So now putting this new one in, same process as taking the old one out. The one thing is that once we get the bottom bolted in, we're gonna take this string off here, and it's really kind of a piece of plastic, and I'm hoping that I can just pull it off the top. I'm not exactly sure on how that's gonna work out. Yeah, I may have to cut that actually, but I also, before I get going on that, need to make sure I have some of the other hardware ready. But let's just focus on getting this one installed first. Is that the torque spec? I don't know. Is it tight? Yes. Okay, this is a fun part. What I've got to do is cut this. This gets cut. Then as it expands, it'll go up through that hole. But I also need to make sure, I think I'm gonna have to cut it right there. Because once I do, it's gonna go up through there, but I also need some of this hardware on there. So while that's hanging there, I'm going to get something to cut that with. Now, pruning shears are not the advised way to cut this, but it's what I have. So that went pretty fast. I was able to stop it a little bit, but to be honest, I don't think that I could get it back down now. It's really tough now. But the good news is that tells me that my other shocks were blown. So now this goes on the top, same way that the old one came off. You just put this rubber thing on here, then this metal thing, and then your nut go on there. All right, passenger side done. Honestly, it was not that bad. Got these in, these are tightened down, surely to spec. I mean, I don't know what spec even means really, but this is there. This isn't gonna just willy-nilly float around like that. Once the, oh, of course. Once the thing settles, that'll go down and that'll be fine right there. The car will go onto it. I'm gonna leave this jacked up for a second just because I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to move that jack and all the hassle that comes with that. This is the first time I've pulled my wheels off, and look at this. I need new bump stops on both sides. Those suck. Those are terrible. Going on my list. So let's get on to the driver's side. Driver's side is the same deal, so I'm not going to show you everything really. The only part about the driver's side that you need to look out for is this right here, right on top. Of course, that nut is underneath the brake booster and all that, so you just gotta use one of those ratcheting wrenches if you have one. Thankfully my dad had one, so I'll be able to do that. And that's changing the suspension.